Hi, I'm Craig Rowland, founder of Sandfly Security. In today's video, I'm going to demonstrate a very simple but effective technique that malware authors often use, and that is deleting the process binary once it executes on Linux. So this video is going to cover this topic because this is a pretty common tactic, and essentially what it is that once a piece of malware starts on a system, many times it will delete the binary it used to drop itself on the file system, and by doing so, it does a couple different things. First of all, it avoids detection, because it makes the binary no longer present on the file system. So if you're using traditional antivirus scanning type methods, like scanning the whole file system, it's simply not going to find the binary there. The second thing it does is it avoids also traditional file integrity monitoring type checks. These checks tend to only happen a few times during the day. And again, if the binary is not present in the file, a file integrity monitoring check is going to completely miss it because there's nothing there for them to check to see that a new file might have been added. So what's interesting about this is that this tactic is often malicious. Sometimes it's used for legitimate purposes if there's been a software update, but most of the time, if you see a deleted process binary running on your Linux systems, it's going to be very likely a malicious activity. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to shift over to our Sandfly browser over here. Now, Sandfly is an agentless endpoint detection and response product for Linux. We deploy without putting any endpoint agents on your remote systems that could cause stability or performance impacts. But one of the things that we're really good at doing too is finding signs of compromise, and a deleted process binary is a very easy way in order for them to hide. So in this system, we scanned our first host here called the Sandfly victim. Now we're going to look at the alerts here, then we're going to jump over to the terminal to show you what it looks like from the terminal side. But on the Sandfly victim, we have a couple different alerts here. For today's demonstration, we're going to focus on the process deleted one. This here, recon process list all, this is what we call a drift detection alert. Basically, what we've done here is we've said we have found a new process called systemd running on the system that we've never seen before. But for today's demonstration, we're going to just stick at the more definite alert, which is essentially here, the process name systemd with this PID of 14205 is running, but has been deleted from the disk. Now, of course, we have the MITRE attack tag, so you can read more about it. But the main thing to understand here is that someone started a process, and by starting that process, they then went and deleted the binary. So this is what got our attention. Immediately looking at the system here, I see this process name of systemd. Again, this is not systemd. Systemd doesn't delete itself from the disk, so this has already got my attention. It's got this command line here that looks odd. We can see process hashes as well, so you can run that through. The process path, we covered this in another video, but we see this is running from the dev SHM directory. This is the RAM disk on Linux. This is a very, very, very suspicious place for binaries to be running, frequently used by malware. So if you see this, I'm already at red alert here. If I go to my raw result data, I can also see some interesting things here. Full command line arguments. Again, I got these weird command parameters being sent in. I have my full path of what's going on. Open file descriptors here show me that there's a socket listed on TCP. I can see the process environment variables. And again, I can even see under network ports here, I see that there's an IP port listening on port TCP. It's in a listening state. So there's something here that's been started calling itself systemd on a listening network port, running out of a RAM disk, and it deleted itself from the disk. So this is immediately something that I'm going to want to pay attention to. So we're going to go over here to our terminal, and I'm going to show you kind of how this looks. So we know that the process itself was called proc, and I'll paste in the process ID is 14205. If I do a simple LSAL in this directory here, this is the process directory, I can immediately start investigating some things about this process. We cover this in some other videos as well, but for today's brief demonstration here, a few things of interest. Current working directory is dev SHM, very suspicious. The exe, this actually points to the binary that is running. And here, Linux is very helpful because it says this is what it should be. Oh, by the way, it's deleted itself from the disk. So this is actually the most important part. What's interesting about a deleted process binary is you think that it's actually going to be very hard to recover, but it's actually very, very simple. And we're going to use this exe right now to do it. I'm simply going to do copy exe to temp evil. And at this point now, that exe file is over in the temp directory. And if I do ls-al on evil, you can see it's here. Here, I can see the file information, and then here for I can get a SHA-1 sum of evil as well, and I can use that to calculate out, and then to take that into maybe various online malware databases and see if you have a match on it. So that's basically now at this point, that binary is recovered from RAM and it's ready for analysis. So that's kind of a quick overview of what deleted process binary is. Very simple tactic, but it works incredibly well in terms of just simple hiding. Sometimes the simplest stuff on Linux is the best way to do things. If you see a deleted process binary, and certainly one running from a RAM disk or other kind of suspicious area like that, very likely it's going to be malicious on Linux. So I'm Craig Rowland from Sandfly Security. Thanks again for watching this video. Check out our other videos. We go over other quick Linux security and intrusion detection incident response topics. Thanks again for watching, and bye.